Greetings, Clobby'S. Welcome to Clobby'S Comics Corner Spinnerack Time Machine, March 1972, week 3. And just great to see you all here. If you, well, like I can see you. Yes, I can. I can see you all out there. Anyone watching this video, please, if you've stumbled on it for the first time, please like and subscribe and take a look at the channel, if you will. There's a link in my description below. For the Clobby'S Comics Corner Spinnerack Time Machine. If you have never seen these videos, basically, I take my Spinnerack Time Machine, which is a TARDIS, of course, in the form of an early 70s Spinnerack from the great Bronze Age of comics, and I am the customer, and I go in and I choose for my pull list, my folder, anywhere from 8 to 10 to or so comics for each week. And of course, I've chosen 50 years, a nice round number, going back 50 years to the week. So right now, March week 3 in 1972 is 50 years ago this week. I will pick the comics and we're not going to go to a deep dive into them. I just talk a little bit about the ones that I would have chosen on my pull list. And then I'll do a little follow-up video the next day, which is much shorter, just to show you some of the ones that were out, but I did not choose. That'll be the Quick Bits video on the following day. Just always a little recap there for those who are just stumbling upon the videos for the first time. So let's start off. What I'll do is give you a quick rundown of the books I've already picked up in March this week, and then we'll get on to week 3. So week 1, let's see, just burn through them very quickly here until we get to week 3. Always like to just, kind of show these again. That was week 1. Here's week 2. And now on to week 3, which is where we are now. And of course, as you can see, it was a huge and bustling comic book industry at that time. Tons and tons and tons of titles. But we will have more on that tomorrow. First, let's go ahead and take a look at the comics that I picked up this week, that I got in my folder, and see what we have here for week 3. Starting off, got some landmarks this week. This is Captain America and the Falcon number 150. Story, Jerry Conway art, Sal Buscema and John reporting on the inks, with a nifty, as always, Gil Kane cover, inked also by the great John Romita, the big senior Romita. So 150, sort of a landmark, right? In a sense, they make a big deal about it, apparently, to do about it, obviously. But, still a nifty looking comic and a fun comic. And featuring the Stranger on that cover, Cap and Falcon. Always liked this cover by the great Herb Trimpe and John Severin. Of course, the Incredible Hulk 152. Story, Gary Friedrich art, Dick Ayers and Frank Giacoia. I'm always fumbling the name, Giacoia. Or Giacoa. Giacoa. So sorry. And in fact, some cool person here once corrected me on it because they knew what the name was pronounced, and I still mess it up to this day. So sorry. But yes, I love this Hulk run. And of course, there he has some guest stars on this cover. Who will judge the Hulk? Oh, my goodness. Such good times. Korak, son of Tarzan. Now, you'll note it says number 46, but it also says first DC issue. The contradiction is somewhat similar to the same situation that we had a couple of weeks ago when, let's see here, when this book came out. That was Tarzan. It actually came out at the end of February, but I remember I forgot to put it on that week. But anyway, Tarzan from Gold Key ran for Gold Key for like 206 issues. And then DC took it. This is the first DC issue. Interestingly enough, they kept the numbering. It says first DC issue, but it's Tarzan number 207. Probably something to do with the Edgar Rice Burroughs estate. But the other Gold Key absorption of the Tarzan line, of course, was this week. And that is, again, Korak, son of Tarzan, first DC issue, but even though it is number 46. taking over from the Gold Key Tarzan run, which took over from Dell and all that other stuff. So anyway, all new stories in here though, all by the legendary Len Wein. First story has art by Frank Thorne. Usually associate him with Red Sonja, but there you go. Yes. And the second story, wow, Michael Kaluta art. Man, I don't think I have this issue. But man, it's got some Pollutioner stuff and some Carson of Venus stuff. So this is all Edgar Rice Burroughs' greatness in there. And of course, the third story by Alan Weiss, which I didn't know he did a whole lot of DC back then. But great cover, of course, the legendary Joe Kubert. So, I don't know if I have this one. I don't think I do. I don't know if I even have a reprint, but I want it now. Some of these I'll either had it one time before or whatever. As for those who don't know, it was in the comic book business. Don't say anything, Eric. And yeah, so sometimes I mess with these comics so much I can't remember if it's one I owned or sold. Marvel Triple Action number 3. And we're still trying to find out what it's interesting. It's the Fantastic Four number, this Triple Action. Later, this book reprinted Avengers and other stuff. So right now it is reprinting Fantastic Four number 54 story. Stanley. Art by the great King of Comics, Jack Kirby, and my favorite of his inkers, Joe Sinnott. And a cover by Gil Kane with Vince Coletta inks. Wow. Gil did not like Coletta, but he didn't have a say in the matter. My goodness. The great Gil Kane, though. Amazing. Monsters on the Prowl, number 17. Reprints from Tales of Suspense, number 14. The old Kirby Ayers monster comics of the time. It actually has the Living Colossus. Remember him? Stanley, as Larry Lieber are possible candidates for story, but the research is not 100% conclusive on it. Of course, art by Jack Kirby and Dick Ayers with a Herb Trimpe cover. And so it's not too bad, not too shabby. We'll take it. It's on my folder, of course. Another landmark issue. What is it with the 50s and the 150s here? Number 50, Submariner. That's right, Subby 50. There you go. And this one, art by his creator and the legendary, extraordinary Bill Everett, one of the all-time comics greats and one of the just most masterful artists ever. That's a great, it's interesting. It's a great Gil Kane cover. I would swear that Everett had something to do with that cover. Instead, it lists Vince Coletta as the inker. I'm not so sure about that. Sure doesn't look Coletta-y at all. It does look like some Kane in there, but could it be that Everett inked it and they just got it wrong? I don't know. That's just my subby sense tingling there. It could be it could be incorrect, and probably is, but the research sometimes you never know on these things. 50 years ago, Mr. Miracle, number 8, Kirby Alert, King Alert, Jack Kirby, and Mike Royer on the first story. Yes, indeed, we're getting into around the salad days of the Kirby's Fourth World. And so the second story is a reprint, though, from Detective Comics 64 by the Simon and Kirby team. And as always, it sports a cover by King Kirby himself. Gotta love me some Mr. Miracle. Superman number 251. Story by story art, of course, in the first story, it will be Len Wein, Kurt Swan, and Murphy Anderson. I love the Swanderson team, my favorite Superman art team, as I've said many times here. Second story is a reprint from all the way back to Superman number 45, Jerry Siegel, John Sikela, and George LaRussos. And story 3 is a new story, a World of Krypton story, if I believe, Elliot S. Magan and Rich Buckler. And the thing that interests me, I find is really, really interesting about this the most is the cover credits. And it credits Carmen Infantino penciling with Neil Adams inks. Now, if that's true, and it kind of does look true, if my artistic senses are serve, that's a combination you won't see very often. Cool cover, but wow, just kind of not something that I would normally expect from a Superman issue of the Bronze Age, but cool stuff. Teen Titans number 39. You ever try searching Teen Titans on the Grand Comics database. It's tough to find the original series. That thing is anyway. Never mind. Story and art by the story, of course, by the great Bob Haney, Mr. Continuity, Earth B himself, Bob. I keep promising it, but it's coming. I'm working on it. I'm going to be doing some videos about the great Bob Haney. It is about time his writing brilliance was acknowledged somewhere, and it's just going to be up to clobbering times, folks. George Tuska on the pencils. That's strange, but with Nick Cardy inking them, that could help. Hey, D-Bud, I know I'm not knocking Tuska, buddy. I guess I am a little bit. I don't know, but Cardy inking him? Hey, there you go. Second story reprint from Hawk of the Dove, number 3. Steve Skates, Gil Kane, saw Ultra Penny, so that's some nifty stuff right there with a Nick Cardy cover because it's Titans and it's Cardy. The two names go together. And finally, Gold Keys, the Twilight Zone, or Rod Serling's Twilight Zone, I should say, probably. Number 43. This was a tough one to research. Couldn't find anything on the writers, just on the artists on this one. Gold Keys are also notoriously tough to research. Grand Comics database is sometimes incomplete on it. A lot of people are kind of incomplete on those, well, understandably, because it's, well, anyway. Art, John Acelardo, Joe Serta, Tom Gill, and Jack Sparling. And this one sports, as always, as many Gold Keys, a nifty George Wilson cover, the great cover painter. And so that is pretty cool stuff in a nice big week for comics. And hey, well, look, let me know what you think of my choices. And what are some of the choices? Would you have made the same? And I will be back here the day after this video drops. Always the day after, with the Quick Bits video, which will follow up, aka show you a few of the comics that I did not choose. Are you a comics geek who went more for the like I do? Obviously, this fanboy superhero stuff, like a kid would, like some kids would, or would you have been more interested in the other titles out there? Well, you'll find out, or you'll see what was out there in my next one. So I want to thank you all, my friends, for hanging out with me today for this video. And a big, big shout out to all my clobberers out there. And of course, also to my wonderful first officer, Miss R.M. Briggs, who made my wonderful intro outro for me. I want to thank her for that. And thank you all for being here. And I will see you on the next video. And I hope to see you on the streams, because I talk comics on my live streams. I talk Star Trek and many, many other geek things, including our spectacular extravaganzas on Saturday nights, Saturday Night Star Trek, reviewing all of real Star Trek 66 through 05. So have a wonderful rest of your day. And I hope to see you on the next video and on the streams. Take care, everyone.